Welcome to the RJI Futures Lab, where we help you make your organization more innovative. I'm Ruben Stern. This week, the thinking behind Al Jazeera's new app called AJ Plus, and an effort to help newsrooms collaborate around engagement. After a year of testing and experimenting with different forms of storytelling, Al Jazeera recently launched a mobile app called AJ Plus. The app delivers news, of course, but it goes beyond that to help users act on the information. The Futures Lab's Tatiana Daria reports how it targets the goals and mindset of younger users.
AJ Plus learned something about millennials.
I know that this audience is not an ADHD audience. It's an audience, that wants something fast. Give me the bottom line, right? And give me the freedom to engage when I want to. That's it. And that's why YouTube is famous. Give me the bottom line, give it to me, don't dress it, don't make it a production of a TV. I want it raw, I want it as is, and tell me the thing as is, so I can go by and continue to do what I want.
From real-time news to explainers and documentaries to stacks, quizzes, and polls, AJ Plus is not just delivering the news, but also inviting viewers to jump into the conversation.
If you see the app, you will see 6 and 12 seconds videos that are very quick, tells you exactly, kind of the story, what is it. And then you want to know more about the context and the explainers. What happened in Ferguson. And what is the purpose? What is really the dynamic behind it? And so these would be between a minute and 3 minutes. And then we have, quote unquote, the documentary, for the lack of a better term. And the documentary for us is like 7 minutes. This would give you more of a human aspect of the story.
You can also browse through the stacks, watch short clips, comment, or vote on your topics or current events.
I think we are more of a psychologist. We deliver the news more in terms of an intriguing question. So if you look at our videos, you see a lot of intriguing questions in a different way. What do you think? Don't you think this is like this? Right? So it's mainly really forcing people, trying to engage with people to have them think differently. And so regardless of how the news is depressing, when you engage in a conversation, you really feel better at the end of the day.
And gone are the roles of news anchors and editors. At AJ Plus, engagement producers run what they call the engagetorial morning meetings with its staff spread all over the world.
In AJ Plus, engagement team, the social media team, has the power to say what goes on and what not. And that is because they are closer to the audience. They know they are part of the conversation. But also, we get a lot of things coming back to us from the audience we have because they engage with producers. They tell them, hey, there is this story, you guys want to look at it. Next day morning is on the list of things that we'll have to look at, and there is a decision from engagement whether we should do it or not. I want AJ Plus to be the best engagement educational tool about current affairs to the millennials. They want to continuously know and learn and make it part of their lives. I don't want people to be downloading a news app when they think of AJ Plus. I want them to download a tool that will help them, affect change in the world. Because this is really what they are. This is the generation that did the 99%. This is the generation that did the Arab Spring. This is the generation that's changing the world, really. And they are completely ignored.
For the Futures Lab, this is Tatiana Daria.
AJ Plus is operated as a separate venture from Al Jazeera's television networks, and they recently brought on board David Cohn, who helped pioneer the innovative mobile news app Circa. The American Society of News Editors and the nonprofit Journalism That Matters are working with 3 news outlets to develop ways to improve audience engagement. As the Futures Lab's Allison Prang reports, the effort helps local newsrooms connect with their communities and with each other.
Journalism That Matters is experimenting with ways to improve diversity in newsrooms and audience involvement. One way they've found success is by tapping into the community to help guide coverage.
The American Society of News Editors have been doing a newsroom census for more than 30 years. And what they have continued to find is that newsrooms are overwhelmingly white. And in spite of many attempts of doing something about that goal, they've never reached it. And so Journalism That Matters reached out with the suggestion of partnering to approach the idea of diversity from a completely different angle, which was to engage the diversity of community. And we went about that really through two means. And one was identifying some pilot sites that were already doing interesting work and engaging their community, and then creating what we're calling the Engagement Hub. The concept is a platform to support news organizations in peer-to-peer learning around community engagement. We have worked with 3 sites. One is Unite Rochester in Rochester, New York, with the Democrat and Chronicle. The second is a project of the Oakland Tribune called Oakland Voices. And then the third is in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, a team called We Create Here that was created outside of the newsroom itself to be an experiment. And in many ways, it's the most interesting and exciting to me because, in a sense, they're turning the approach to how they do news stories on its ear by starting with listening to their community about what the issues are.
Typically, we don't have either the desire or the will to really try to develop relationships with sources. I know that some of these people that I speak to, not all of the conversations are going to directly lead to something really concrete for my project. But I still take the time to meet with people and explain to them what I'm doing, explain to them what my goals are, even if they provide me with a small lead or some data or a connection. I consider that worthwhile. So taking the time to develop relationships is something brand new that our team is really, really focusing on. We call this community building. This means I go out as much as I am in the office, if not more. I go out to the schools. I go out to some of these smaller meetings, some of these smaller discussions, and not only do I just observe, but I actually take part in the discussions. This is the biggest difference.
People in communities inherently tend to approach challenges not in terms of becoming experts on the problem, but in looking for answers. And so the quality of listening is really from a point of view of what's possible in this situation. It really is a bit different from the kind of listening that journalists have been trained in.
For the Futures Lab, this is Allison Prang.
You can follow the progress and get more information at engagementhub.org. You'll find that link and other information along with this video. And that's it for this report from the RJI Futures Lab. I'm Ruben Stern. We'll see you in the future.